Look up at the night sky. That glowing orb, the moon, has been with us since the dawn of humanity. It controls our tides, lights our nights, and has shaped life on Earth in ways we barely understand. But imagine, for one terrifying moment, that the moon, the very guardian of our skies, broke free from its orbit and came hurtling toward us. No escape, no second chance. What if the moon crashed into Earth? The horror would begin long before the final impact. As the moon drifted closer, its gravitational pull would tear our world apart. The tides would rise into walls of water, tsunamis thousands of meters high, swallowing coasts and continents alike. Cities would vanish beneath the waves, entire nations drowned before the moon even touched Earth. The oceans would rebel, dragging humanity into chaos in the land. Earthquakes would rip through the crust, fault lines snapping like twigs. Volcanoes would roar to life, spewing rivers of fire into the sky. The ground beneath us would shudder and crack, as if the planet itself knew its doom was approaching. Skies filled with ash, seas raging. Land burning, Earth would be collapsing into chaos. Even before the end. Now imagine the moon rising larger and larger each night. No longer a gentle, silver disk, but a monstrous, looming sphere dominating the sky. It would blot out the stars, glowing with reflected sunlight. A silent executioner descending upon its victim. Fear would spread across the globe. Religions would collapse or ignite. Governments would fall. And humanity's final days would dissolve into panic and desperation, and then the collision. The moon, a 7.3 times 10 kilogram wrecking ball, slams into Earth at nearly 40,000 kilometers per hour. The energy released, beyond comprehension, equivalent to billions of nuclear bombs exploding all at once. The surface would vaporize instantly. Cities, mountains, oceans obliterated in a flash of fire and light. The moon itself would shatter on impact. Merging with Earth in a cataclysm of molten rock and plasma, the shockwave would ripple through the planet, tearing it apart from the inside. The crust would crack open like shattered glass, magma flooding to the surface. The atmosphere would ignite, turning into a burning storm of superheated gases. The oceans would boil into the sky, leaving nothing but scorched rock behind. The Earth, as we know it, would cease to exist in minutes from space. The spectacle would be both horrifying and beautiful. Earth and moon colliding, their debris flung into orbit, glowing rivers of molten stone circling the sun. Our planet would no longer be a blue oasis, it would become a fiery wasteland. Fragments of itself scattered across the solar system. Perhaps a new ring would form our sun, made of Earth's remains. Perhaps a new planet would eventually be born from the wreckage. But for us, there would be no survival. Yet here's the haunting twist. Scientists believe something like this has already happened. Billions of years ago, a Mars-sized object called the slammed into the young Earth. The result: the moon itself was born from the debris. Without that ancient collision, we wouldn't have the moon, the tides, or perhaps even life as we know it. So, if the moon ever collided with Earth again, it would be a terrifying echo of the event that made us possible in the first place. But what about hope? Could humanity see it coming and escape? If the moon truly fell from orbit, we'd have weeks, maybe months, of warning. Rockets could launch, carrying a fraction of us into space. Colonies on Mars, the moon's surface, or even orbital stations might preserve the last remnants of our species. But for those left behind, there would be no miracle. Earth's final chapter would end in fire. And what about the aftermath? In the silence after the collision, Earth would be gone, the moon gone. In their place, a new, molten world swirling with clouds of dust and vapor. Over millions of years, gravity might pull that debris together into something new. A fresh planet. A second chance for a life, though not for us. Humanity's story would end in ashes, but life in the universe would continue, as it always has. So, what if the moon crashed into Earth? Then, the night sky's gentle guardian would become our destroyer. Tides would drown us, quakes would shatter us, fire would consume us, and in one blinding instant, Earth itself would be erased. The moon gave us balance, stability, and light. But if it ever turned against us, it would remind us of the greatest truth of all. In the vast, indifferent universe, survival is never guaranteed. And sometimes the same forces that give life can take it away. If the moon fell, Earth wouldn't just end, it would burn, break, and scatter into the stars, leaving behind nothing but silence and dust.